Good evening, everybody. It's Shelley Johns here from Gympie. I'm here with Ross.
Good evening.
And tonight's call is all for members. So it's an open call, doesn't matter what organisation you're in, it's open to absolutely everybody. And I love that we've got such a great mastermind group that's growing all the time and that we're adding value to each other and helping each other grow, which is really important. And working with sidelines is so important. And we're all sidelines. So I realise that Lindy's in Irene and Con's team, but pretty much the rest is all sidelines. So it makes it very strong because you can all come up with different ideas and have different strengths. So tonight's call is all about mindset because we know that working on ourselves every single day is really important for our growth and our skill set, our confidence, and just helping with our attitude when we're talking to people because, you know, our business is all about talking to people. We're going to go through the feedback from the STS on Saturday and some of the latest updates and promotions. There's quite a few things going on at the moment, so I'm not going to cover every single one, but just a few. So let's kick off with some good news. So Rosemary, I know you attended the STS in Brisbane with our guest speaker, Stephen from Sydney, and he had a great story to share. So what were some of the things you got from the training?
Well, I found it was fantastic. I mean, I could have found plenty of reasons to attend the meeting, to be honest, but I made sure I was there and took along another lass as well, and had planned to actually have another, someone new there, a guest, but they couldn't make it. And but just Stephen, I love the simplicity with how he spoke, how he was very, very, I just felt he was very sincere, and just the messages that he passed on to us, I mean, I've been around, as, we all know, 26 years. So for me to, hear someone like Stephen speak the way he did, was just, it really did make a difference for me. I think, wow, I'm so glad I went there. And I think the things that I liked, what he was saying was, I have to read it because otherwise I'll lose it. He said, what business are we really in? And I'm pretty sure he said, you're in an accountability business, you're in a relationship business, you're in a community business, and you're in a coaching business. So that was one of the things that, so what he was talking about a lot, which I think is great as well, is that, we need to develop relationships with our customers and our members. So, and the other thing I loved what he said too was, when someone that you've, maybe had as a member, or when you meet them, you pretty well know straight away that, that there's something about that person, you're going to get along with them. And he said the other thing was mainly people that you do bring into your business, the ones that, you tend to like, the ones that you would feel that you would like to invite in to your home for a barbecue. He talked about that as well, with regards, and I can relate to that too, because I just think that, when you feel comfortable with someone and they feel comfortable with you, I feel that there's a certain trust there. So I just think, there were just so many things that he said, and I'm just glad that I had the guests, there, but that guest will come. I'm taking him to a meeting tomorrow night, and from those flyers, I had another lady ring tonight, and so I'm also taking that lady to over to, it's on Logan Road. The lifestyle one that, so I'm excited.
Cool, Rosemary. So you did a great job of sharing your story at the STS as well. Like, I love when you share your product story with such passion, and I think it's a real asset to that event. Also, yes, well done. Like, I know you're in your 70s and you're busy with grandkids and lots of other things too, but you still got out and did flyers.
Yes.
And letterboxing's not always easy, so you've got some calls from that. And because they didn't come to the STS, I know you're having a bit of a chat with Ross on Saturday about where, places you could, take them to a Herbalife Opportunity meeting.
Yes.
And yes, we've got a Thursday night HOM, but if you can take them to a quicker one, not one sooner,
Yes.
that's better, because you could have them at the HOM tomorrow night, sign them up, and then they could have guests on the recorded one on Thursday night.
Exactly. And look, I will say to you, and I think I said that to Ross, many of the flyers that I actually put out are in blocks of units.
Yep.
So most of those blocks of units have got, they don't want junk mail. No junk mail. Most of them have got no junk mail. Big signs. And I personally have never considered them to be what I put in those letterboxes, junk mail. And I've learned, because I've been caught a few times over the years, someone might come out and quickly say, that you're not put junk mail in there, and I go, oh, I'm very sorry. But I've always been ready if someone ever phoned as well, for anyone who is on this call, and the person, if they were nasty towards you, I've got something in mind straight away, and I say, look, I am very sorry, but the person that I have given that to put those flyers in the letterbox, they may have not noticed that there was maybe it was in the dark, and I do apologise, and just be very polite, and they never know that it's me anyway. So, I think you just got to be ready, because I have been caught a couple of times, even by the postman, and I go, so I go very early now so that I won't get caught. There you go. Those would have been in junk mail, no junk mail, so I'm sure of it.
That's pretty awesome. And, I think, yes, personal choice. I will always do no junk mail. I'm prepared to get the call because I think it's worth it to change someone's life. So what do your recruiting flyers say, Rosemary?
That recruiting flyer says that who I am. So it's Rosemary. I'm a business lady in Sunnybank Hills. I haven't got to you. It's over there. Hang on. Can you hang on a second?
For sure.
Just a minute. And it's quite a good one. I can't remember who I got it from.
Just in case someone was interested on knowing what flyers Rosemary does, it's always good to know.
So it says, can you see that?
No.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's hang on. Does that?
Yep. We might get you to take a photo of it. Do you know how to upload it onto Challenge Yourself Daily and put a photo on?
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I'm learning.
Otherwise, you can take a photo of it and text it to me, and I'll do it for you.
Yeah, because it just says who I am, and I'm a local businesswoman living in Sunnybank Hills. I've lived here in the area for a number of years, and know that although the lifestyle is great, opportunities for those of us looking to work around our families and busy schedules are sometimes limited. I'm looking for 3 people in the area who would like to earn up to an extra $500 to $2,000 per month part-time without affecting what you're currently doing. If you are serious, willing to learn and teachable, then I can show you how. If this does not interest you, would you mind handing this to someone who may help? You may help. And genuine inquiry. So, yeah, that's it. So it's really like one lady phoned and she asked, about the job. So some people don't get, you get that. They're looking for a job. And she was a mum, from India, actually. Because a lot of the ones that I put in those flyers are either from God knows where, all over the world, in the area where I go. Yeah.
Well, they say that that Sunnybank and Sunnybank Hills area has got the most highest Asian population in Brisbane.
Yep, very much so. Yep.
So, which is interesting. So sometimes you might even you could tweak your flyer a little bit to be attractive to a certain demographic as well. So even though that's a very broad.
Well, the lady tonight, she sounds. She doesn't sound Chinese, but the name certainly is Chinese.
Cool. Yeah, if you have problems uploading the flyer, take a photo of it and text it to me. I'll upload it for you.
Pleasure. Yep.
And even just an idea of your script as well, because I do think sometimes people like, you know, I've got a couple of different recruiting scripts, and I must admit with the advertising I've been doing at the moment, I used a little bit of Mark and Jill Addy's. I was listening to some of the things I had done, so I've tweaked my ad a little bit, even though we've got many forms of advertising. But yeah, I'm always kind of refining that script for that set of words that suits who we are and what we're trying to do.
It's pretty simple. Even that one who phoned this evening, look, I just said to you it was around dinner time, and I'm not, you know, I just said, look, can I get in touch with you? You know, at the moment it's not a great time. You know, it's dinner time, and no problem. So I just think if you're upfront with people, they're either interested or they're not, and I think they see that you're genuine anyway. That's my theory. Maybe it's my age.
Right, that's cool. That's pretty awesome. I'm sure everyone would love to hear what Rosemary's doing, right? And seeing that, because it's something that we can all learn from and all get good at recruiting with. And it's really important that we are good recruiters, not just good retailers.
Yep.
So thank you, Rosemary. That's awesome. Irene, I know you've had a pretty full-on couple of months, and you know, you've only just got back into your home and stuff, so you and Con came to the STS, which is fantastic. It's not always easy to fit all that in, so it was great seeing you there.
Okay, well, I know Stephen from Sydney, of course, and I just had to be there because I know how he has worked, not just with himself, with his sister, to get to where he is. And he's a very, he's a very interesting man to learn from. But one of the things that I thought, wow, he said, do you know your avatar? And Conrad whispered, what's that? and he said, you know, in other words, what does your dream client or a member look like? And you should write down what that is. So, for example, maybe integrity, honesty, loyalty, committed, and ambitious. That's what I wrote down. But really take that, because that is something that can change your whole business if you know precisely the type of person that you can relate to. And then you should ask yourself, who do I need to become, or what do I need to become to attract this type of person? So, you know, there's no point in saying, I'd like this. I'm sure Conrad will say a 20-year-old blonde, but he has to do something before. And so you have to develop yourself. He would kill me if he heard that. Anyway, the point is that if you know the type of person you want to work with or have as a client, you then go and you look, where would they hang out? What do I need to put out? What type of advertisements, or how do I base them is probably a bad word, but how do I attract them? And then when I'm speaking to them, what words do I use to have it a compelling conversation? And then, apart from the result, how do I keep them? I found that really beneficial for everybody. The other thing that I found interesting, I mean, there was lots more, but he said something and I thought, oh, he said, the more you charge, the more you serve. I thought, wow. And he said, be comfortable with this, because think about it, a doctor doesn't ask if you want the cheaper medication or you want the one that costs more. He just gives you what will help you. And so I found that, so be firm and find out who deserves, who's willing, or who's seriously wanting these products and deserves your service. Then he said, a way to drive your massive growth in your business, your job is to find 20 to 30 lifetime customers, not monthly. There's no point in getting a customer this week and then they're gone the next week. And as well as that, he said, you've got to connect with them. The more you connect with them, you increase your retention. And Rosemary, you would know that, and Shelley, the people you really connected with back when you started, those who stayed with you, they're not just customers or members, they're friends as well. And I think for me, this last week has made it very clear they're also part of the Herbalife family. And that's very important. Yeah, make sure you feel, make sure that they feel your connection. And, you know, and the more you connect with them, the more they know, the longer they'll stay with you. And the last thing is, because I know Ross is coming on, I want to get my pen ready. The highest form of success is succeeding through others. And isn't that what Mark always says in other words, but it's the same concept. And then find out the type of person that you can relate to, and the game to you is to keep them. So I could go on and on. I was absolutely thrilled that I was there for that. I let it seep into me, as well as write notes frantically. And I found his training absolutely amazing. And he's somebody who deserves to be where he is, I think, anyway.
Fantastic. Thank you, Irene. And I think it's probably something that we could all do and revisit, is write those 5 things in that you would like as your ideal client, those qualities.
Yes.
So that you can really focus in on that. So if you all spend some time this week doing that, if you want to share it on Challenge Yourself Daily, what you came up with as your ideal thing. It might even be more than 5 things. Or if you can't, even start off with 2 things if you can't do 5. But if you do more than 5, so be really clear on who it is that you want in your business, the type of person, basically.
Yeah.
Which is great. So our slides kind of match that. So I'll just see if this will click through. So this was Stephen Newen. So he had a picture with his wife and their little baby girl. He's 5 months old, and just saying that, you know, he works for the family business, which is quite a successful seafood business, but he's trying to now transition out of that so that he can be a present dad, like he really wants that. So they've got this different sort of lifestyle, and it was great to see how he's got his family involved, and that his dad, who's always worked for like the last 30 years, never really went on a holiday and got to see Australia. He got to take him on one of the Herbie vacations to Hamilton Island and had his dad there, and he said it was really amazing how much they bonded and some of the things that happened. So, you know, it's not always about the money, but it's the things that it can give you as well. So I thought that was really cool. So so this is what Rosemary said. What business are you really in? We're not in the nutrition business. We're in the accountability business. People are coming to you because they want accountability. You're in the relationship business, building relationships, the community business, creating communities for people to plug into, and coaching as well. So, you know, we offer so much value, and I bumped into someone that used to come to Fit Club years ago in the supermarket this afternoon, and she's a nurse, name's Jolene. So just got talking to her, and I knew she'd liked a couple of my posts, and I just said, I saw that you'd like some posts, so, you know, you're interested in coming to see me. She goes, yep. So we sort of made a time. It'll be in October because she's studying and has a baby and a whole bunch of other things. So I just, you know, it was good to be able to reconnect with her and ask for a decision as well, be fairly clear on what it is that I can help her with. So this is, Irene just said it, the highest form of success is succeeding through others. And, you know, we don't want followers, we want to develop leaders, don't we? We're looking for more leaders, people that are willing to go out there. It doesn't matter if they want to help a couple of people or they want to help thousands of people. We need more of those sort of people that are willing to step up and do that. So we don't want to be the smartest or the best person in our group. We want people to, you know, succeed past us. You know, you're doing your job right when people can do things better than you. You know, that's what you want. So this was another one he mentioned, product seller versus storyteller. So a leader is a storyteller, and I've really thought about that really sharing more results. I printed out another flip book taken to the centre tomorrow, which has got before and afters, lots more, because I know it's the results and sharing results. So I think I did that when we were in Brisbane. We did 3 walk and talks on that Saturday because we went to the DFO afterwards, didn't we? So I did 3, but I made sure I shared our stories before I gave them some information. So I realised you're going to be talking, so I'll have to. The 5 pillars of success. So planning and prepare. You know, that's basically getting your scripts ready, printing your flyers, making sure you got everything ready first. Accountability. You've set some goals and tell someone about it. Tell your mentor, share it on the group so that you're accountable. that social support, so making sure that you can plug into things like STSs, having that incentive, like being able to qualify for things, and then the big deadline, setting a goal of some of your higher achievements, you know, world team, active world team, and so on. And it goes the same for a client, planning and prepare, making sure that you've done their results and they know exactly how to use their program. You're giving them that accountability where you're following them up. They can plug into all the different activities you've got, shake parties, fit club, whatever it is you've got. Give them some sort of incentive, like this fantastic statewide challenge that's happening, or any challenge that you've got, some sort of prize, incentive, and then the deadline of when it finishes and when the end goal is as well. So you can use it for retail and recruiting. The 3 P's of success. Number 1, love the products. Promote your business method with your circle of influence and social networks like Facebook and Twitter, though I must admit I don't use Twitter, but you know, just really sharing your love of the products, but not being so, you don't have to be silly, just be yourself and share your passion, you know, your different recipes and things like that. Get and keep your clients, no matter what the number is. If it's 3 clients, if it's 50 clients, it doesn't matter. But keeping your clients is better than going out and getting client after client after client, and then coach them towards their goals. So building that relationship. And then number 3, developing your key people. So you know that Rosemary was talking about, I'm looking for 3 people that you can coach. So you're knowing that you want to work with however many people that is. I mean, I know when I was qualifying for Get Team that I was working with between 12 and 14 people a month. You know, but I was doing it full time then, and I didn't have the girls and stuff. So, but picking that number of who you can grow your customer base, and then qualify for that active member promotion. So helping your new people qualify for active member, but also making sure that you're developing those people every single month to move up the marketing plan. You need to show them the options. We had some people in the centre yesterday at 10 o'clock, an old VIP member. She would have been on my 5th line. Now she's my 1st line, and she's from Caboolture, so they were visiting home to the centre, met up with us, and we helped her reinstate and order a program and that. And we were already showing her the 35%. She's already got that planted in her goal as the next goal for her to achieve, which is really cool. So she could do that this month. Okay, so foundation for success. Irene said this, and I know Rosemary talked about it. So you want to get your clients, you want to keep them. And look, you're not going to keep everyone. Do I have people that fall off the wagon and disappear or never return my calls? Sure. But the right ones that seem to click with you will stay. And then you help develop them. You help upgrade them onto other products. You help them get to different percentage levels. And then you always offer the opportunity. So that development part is including people, that being inclusive and inviting them to everything, so that one day they just might be ready. I mean, there's plenty of people I invite every single month to something and they never ever come, but there just might be that one time that they're just ready. Okay, and think about how many times some of you got asked, or had been like, Coral's been exposed multiple times to Herbalife, how long I've been around, and that I just kept around things even when I had things going on in my life, how many times Lindy got asked, you know, and so on. There's always those sort of stories, right, of people that they just kept around, or just kept coming back into their space, and then they were ready to do something about it. So just think about, you know, I think about myself, and I know I need to be patient with my people because they may have a similar journey to me, and that's got to be okay.
It took Conrad 6 months of Dagmar and I talking to him every day before he even looked at it.
Yep. So there you go. And so
never give up.
Yes, that's right. So sometimes if you get that feeling about someone, I know we're driving to the STS on Saturday, and it's not an easy day because you've got to get up at 4 and leave at 6 and then concentrate for the whole day and then go back and, you know, and go back home again. But one of my primary school friends, he was actually in my brother's class, recently become friends with him on Facebook, and I really like his sense of humor, and we'd kind of chatted on Messenger, and I just said, oh, hi, Paul. I just wanted to, I've just been thinking about you a lot, and I really wanted to offer you to come and take a look at this opportunity because I really like your sense of humor. I know that you really like, she has a cleaning business. I know you love what you do and you take pride in your work. And I just really, you know, my shy side stops me from wanting to talk to you, but I really feel like I should. This is what I typed. And I said, so if I sent you a recording, would you take a look? And he just went, sure, send it through. And so I said, great. So we had a little backward and forth, have a great day. So I haven't followed up on him yet, but you know, if I don't ask, he might not be remotely but interested, but now he knows, and I've done something about it. So sometimes, again, like you said, just being honest and upfront and being prepared to be vulnerable is okay. So, because I know my shyness gets in the way sometimes, or not feeling like, oh, they're going to say no, but you've got to get over that. So I think, yeah, so Stephen Newham was fantastic, very clear, great personal development. He's obviously a reader. What was the book that he recommended he's reading?
The One Thing by Jerry
That's right.
Keller, or whatever it's called. I wrote it down. I haven't looked up where to buy it yet, but I wrote it down.
Yeah, so he's reading this book called The One Thing.
Stop chasing the two rabbits. You won't catch any.
That's right. So that was his example, wasn't it? If you're trying to catch rabbits, if you're chasing two rabbits, you're never going to ever catch one. So you have to focus on that one thing that's, you know, important for you. And I know that we do multiple things in this business, but having that one clear vision of why you do what you do and what you want to achieve and your goals, that's that one thing to focus on. So I think that was it. Did you want to share?
So I was just going to go a bit over from Stephen. Something that Stephen said pretty well was, why you accept the excuse that someone can't buy something. So to give an example, my brain capacity is this. I don't care if the client says I only want a trial pack. I'm going to sell you an ultimate pack. End of story. That's where my brain is, because that's what I know I needed to lose 15 kilos. That's what the client needs. Now, admittedly, I'm not going to say, okay, if you don't buy an ultimate pack, you're not getting anything. But my brain is on, always on. I am doing everything I can to get you an ultimate pack. I'm asking you how serious you are. What do you want to do? And I'm trying to get you to talk yourself into the ultimate pack, not me talking into it. I want to know how serious you are about it and what do you want to do about it. And I go in with that point where I know in the early stages with Shelley and I, she go, the client only wants a trial pack. I don't care what the client wants. If the client was coming to me, like Stephen said, to a doctor, the doctor wouldn't go, look, it's okay, just go home and take this one pill and you'll be fine. No, the doctor's going to give you what you need. And that's how I always look at it. And I accept the fact that sometimes that ultimate pack may end up back at a quick start or a breakfast. But I also know if that customer only ends up buying a trial pack, how general and serious are they? Why do they come? They're not going to be around. And you all get that gut feeling, and I'm trying really hard with personal development at the moment. Shelley knows what I'm like. She'll see me go blank in the middle of a conversation because it means I know the person's not going to do nothing, and I switch off. Yeah. And I'm trying really hard not to, because I know if you do switch off too early, they may just need a little bit longer, but she'll actually look at me and go, you can see my eye expression just. And
I go, can you just go and make us an instant herbal beverage?
Get out of the room. Because I go blank, because I just get the feeling straight up that this person's just literally wasting my time. What am I doing here? But there is people that's not always the case. And we're two different types of people too. Yeah. Shelley will look after different people that I won't look after. I'm pretty well always looking for that eagle, where Shelley will look after what I call at times the broken wing duck that might eventually grow into an eagle. And I move on from that. So we're two different types of people looking for two different types of things all the time. I'm looking for the serious individual that wants to take an ultimate pack, that's going to get on for 3 months, that's going to get great results and move forward. I'm always looking for that in my brain. And that's where my brain is to start with. I go in with that attitude in my head.
And you know what? Herbalife has room for everybody, because I think of my sponsor, Merv, pretty blunt, not really a people person. You know, but it's okay because everyone fits in. It's perfectly okay. You just have to be you. You don't have to be anybody else. So Stephen Nugent said, no, it's not Nan, it's Newham. Sorry. Stand on the shoulders of giants. So I love that you know, by being in Herbalife, we do get to stand on the shoulders of giants. You know, we have people that help us to develop faster because of their experience. And when they said it's an accountability business, that the Herbalife product, the nutrition, is actually the solution for those things. So that was really cool. The other thing he was talking about, I'm just having a quick look through. So I write a lot of, when he talks, it tends to spark off things. So I'm writing little checklists for myself as well, which I came up with a few things on the weekend that I actioned. He said that he loved that Herbalife's a company that embraces work and play, like having all the different lifestyle activities and trainings. So I thought that was a really nice way of promoting the business, a company that embraces work and play. Because how many companies are out there, it's all work. And that thing with the avatar, he said, you know, if you think about it, because when he said avatar, it didn't really kind of click with me.
You're thinking of the movie, weren't you?
Well, kind of, but yeah, I'm very visual. But I get that who's your ideal client or your ideal member. And he said, where do they congregate? So obviously for him, he has a lot of gym type people.
Gym people, yeah.
So I was thinking about where do our ideal clients congregate. They're probably everywhere.
Yours, it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yep.
But I know that you could be more specific if you wanted to. Like, for example, we're doing a healthy aging morning tea and talk at the RSL in Kalula Cove for Helen in November.
Yep.
November.
Yep.
And so, of course, where does Helen's ideal client congregate?
There.
At the RSLs and different things like that. So we could do the Bowls Club or other RSLs and things in the area and clubs that would fit in with her demographics. So she knows where her ideal client congregates, and that's where she's starting to focus. So just giving you an idea of that. And hang on. Okay, cool. So that was it. So now you get Ross. Irina's going to be very excited.
And it's ready.
It's just a couple of slides.
That's not the point. It's always very good.
Okay. All right. So we start off down the bottom there. It's just little icicles. We're all in a little gathering in a group. We're all cold and we want something. So we want more. We don't want to just be an icicle. We want to be on fire. We want to improve. We want to grow. And that's what we start to do. So this is what Herbalife starts to create of us. So the temperature eventually goes up. We turn up the heat, we hustle, we talk to people, we show others the opportunities. What we do, that's where we go. We get that fire in our belly, we get going, we turn up the heat, we start hustling, we talk to everybody we know, we show everybody the opportunity, but then we become comfortable. And what happens when you become comfortable and the temperature's nice and cozy, or it starts to get a little bit too hot? You turn on the air conditioning, and that's going to be in the road, isn't it? Well, they could probably. Can you see the words?
Yep.
Yeah, we
Only some of them.
We'll just move you over here.
Feel out.
Okay. Now you're all blurry. That's fine. So we turn down the heat. We chill ourselves. We talk with less enthusiasm because we've got so warm. We've got so hot. We've got so comfortable. So you just need to. This should go
I think
back.
you can just do it to one single, just to you talking if you want.
There you go. It doesn't matter anyway. So that's what we do. That's how our whole operation is. We get all hot, we fire, we get comfortable, and almost gets to the point where it's too hot. So think of yourself as an air conditioning unit. When you're cold, what do? You turn up the temperature on the air conditioning unit, and it's all of a sudden it's nice in here, and then all of a sudden it gets too hot in here. What do you do when it's too hot? You go and turn the temperature of the air conditioning unit back down again. Why? We've got to think of ourselves as keep going. And that's one of the things we don't do. So the other thing you need to be aware of is this. Don't worry if you suck at selling. Be great at talking about things you care about. So if you love this product, stop trying to sell it and start talking about how you feel, what you care about, what you want to do. It's really what we do. And at times we're trying to sell a product and we're really not. We're selling results in the end of the day, not a product at all. So you need to think about that.
And I think just getting good at learning the results so that they come off the top of your head. So doing your own result and your clients is really easy to talk about because you know them personally. And then having that flip book to show people, because that visual before and after is very, very effective. Remember, a picture tells 1,000 words. So really get good at learning the stories and telling the stories. And it should really be, most of your presentation should be made up of sharing stories, because if they're not impressed by that, then they're probably nothing's going to work. And that means then you've got to go back into sell mode, and you don't want to do that. You want them to be inspired by the stories, but they just want to get started. Like when someone says, "Oh, you look fantastic," and they go, oh, you've done I've used the Herbalife. Oh, whatever you're on, I want that. Whatever you're on, I want that. That's kind of what you want to have happen.
Absolutely. So you become stars. This is how you start off. It's just little stars starting to go from somewhere. And your star grows. You get better at what you do, and your star keeps growing, and it keeps growing until you shine really brightly as what you are. And our job then is to help other people to create many stars. That's what we do. And we've just got to learn to keep on going. The amount of times we've listened to Mark Hughes lately, it's just you do it over and over and over and over again, and that's what you do. And you don't stop when it gets comfortable. That's when you put the pedal down harder and keep going. Don't turn that air conditioning unit back down. Start sweating and go even harder.
I think it's kind of almost a human nature to do that. It's
It
almost like going through it enough times to know that, to recognize that it's happening, so that you know that's when you do more. You get out and do more flyers, place more ads, talk to more people, do that more and keep that momentum going. And it's great when you get the, I know when we went to Hong Kong and a couple other things, but three other things anyway, I know that that momentum got affected where the volume wasn't happening with as much ease.
Yep.
And
you've
so,
got to do more.
Yeah, and Larry Thompson talks about the hot hand in the basketball. I know we talked about it the other week. Is that when things are going well, that's when you capitalize and keep doing it. But when you stub your toe and things aren't going good, you've got to get back to basics. And it's use where talk and just doing it over and over again, and just not, there's no other secret. And it's good that it's that simple, because it was really complicated and you weren't sure how to fix it, then most people would give up. So we need it to be so simple that they just go back to those basics. How are you going with your product use? Are you wearing a button or are you branded? If you've got it on your car or whatever, just those basics. And are you talking to people? Because if you're not talking to people, nothing is going to happen. And I know we've been talking a lot about the amount of numbers. To get this many stars in our group, we need to be doing more numbers.
Absolutely. We know that. Right. So the thing comes down to, in this, the personal development now will go into the corporate slides, but to understand. So we want to be stars. Did we go for that? If we went for that, are we going to complete it? Because we have to do it, complete it. You had to have done July, you had to have done August, and you now have to do September to complete the bag yourself.
So this was quite a time-sensitive promotion. They're not always, obviously not always like that.
Yep. So everything, if we want to be a star, we have to stretch. We want that star to grow. We have to be doing these sort of things, and we have to be growing from there. You want to talk about that?
So this obviously got announced on the weekend. So this is the Queensland state. I know New South Wales is going to be doing one, and obviously some of the other states will follow suit. But not a problem. If you don't live in Queensland, it's no problems. But who do you know in Queensland that you can get on it? That's what I would be suggesting. And so I've gone through and just clicked on it. I haven't registered yet, but I will. I've shared it onto my timeline. I've shared it onto our groups. I haven't done individual invites, but I will be going through who was on the products that I can get onto this. So I've got people in mind and a number. So have a number in mind. And I think it's a great one to run alongside any other challenges you're doing. Anyone that doesn't live near you, or maybe someone you just haven't got, into a challenge, offer this to them, because I think it's great incentive. I love that they're putting 20% towards Sunshine Butterflies.
Yeah, so to understand that, it's a $29 entry fee per person. You have to live in Queensland, and 20%, so $5.80 of every one of those entry fees going to Sunshine Butterflies. So we're automatically giving back within that process, which is fantastic. And everybody can get involved with this. The reason I looked at it and went, why is it 35 days? And I realized it starts on a Monday, and they're rolling it back through to another Monday and finishes on a Monday in the 4th of November. So
so I'd ask them if they're a coach, ask them if they're on Herbalife, and have they talked to their coach. So I'd ask a few specific questions as well. So I think it's great if there's something in place that you can plug into, because we were lined up to do our own next challenge. So of course I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the Herbalife structure and do it because it's easier. Can you still do your face-to-face challenges or any other mini ones like Glow Lean and things like that? Absolutely. But definitely use this as your main one for that time period. Let's see how it rolls and what results we get from it. But you would really like to think that it would help get a whole bunch of new results in your team and client base, upgrading people, getting people back on the products, and helping your team get more clients. If all of that can happen from this challenge, you're doing the right thing.
And when you think about it, it gives you a brand new testimonial. In 35 days, you get a brand new testimonial.
Yep.
whatever that is, whether that's a kilo, whether that's an extra percentage in body fat, it doesn't matter. You can say in the last 35 days I lost, or I gained, for that matter. It might be the other way. I gained muscle, or whatever the case may be. But straight away you can go, it's not, I did this last year or 2 years ago, or what do we often talk about. I just achieved this.
So it's not just weight loss, it's a body transformation challenge. So someone that wants to gain weight or put on weight or do other things, remember it's not just weight loss, so it includes everybody. So yes, so make sure, and all I did, just so you know, I went onto the Herbalife email, I clicked on the book here, and that window, it created a new window, and then I just went up into the browser and I copied the whole thing. It was quite long, and then I did the post. So I could text this to someone, I could email it, I could personal message it, and I can post it. And then I pasted that whole link, and then it popped up into my post. So that's how I did it. If you're wondering how, if you're not sure, I can show you again. But you just click on book here, another window pops up, and then you copy the whole link in the browser. Okay, that's how you do it, just in case you're wondering.
Yeah, I booked it. I booked this morning. I've already booked.
Cool.
Nice work, Rosemary. And if you, in worst case scenario, just share the email.
Yeah,
Just do that.
I don't know if I can be as good as what you are with what you do. I'd love to be, but I'll try. Yeah.
I've created an event as well with it on it, so that you can actually invite people onto the event, and the link's on there, and you can just send them through. So I've tried to do as many different things as I could think of to attract people and make it as easy as possible for them to find it and then register.
Yeah.
Cool. So next one.
Mark Paulson. So our next Let's Go for October, Saturday the 5th, 12 to 3 p.m. We have Mark Paulson coming with, you haven't got an extra slide for that, but we can explain it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So and so I've done. Do you remember the Larry Thompson Millionaire Training tapes? And he, at the beginning in his intro, he talks about the people coming along to see him speak because they were talking about, they called it millionaire training. So I've taken that and I've got these slides. I've got millionaire training on them, and I've gone back to basics and tried to use that old concept to, you know, if it attracts people, that picks. You know, look, I know there's some people that'll go, you know, it's not them and it's not for them, but I'm looking for those ambitious people. This is totally a recruiting opportunity. This event is all about recruiting and all about growing your business and business builders. This is definitely it. So if you're right into that, if you don't even live here, you could take a whole car full of people, and knowing, you know, the value you'll get from Mark Paulson, that would be great. Obviously, we have a leadership training. So basically it goes from 12 to 3. So 12 p.m. there'll be a Herbalife opportunity meeting, which is cool that I've got Cara doing it with me, her very first one. So I'll have to give her some prepping on that.
That morning.
I'll give it. No, good. Then we will have a short break. Mark Paulson will do a member training, and then we'll do some recognition and the promotions, and then we'll break at 2 o'clock, clear the room, and anyone that's qualified for this, so that any fully qualified supervisors and anyone that's done 1,000 volume points in September, and yes, I will accept it up to the 5th of October. So if someone did it that morning on the Saturday and brought in their proof of volume and they wanted to come to it, absolutely. So just putting it out there. Rosemary, you can get your guys to do Success Builder orders and come along. And imagine the value they're going to get from Mark Paulson. 35 years. You know, he tells it as it is. They're going to get really good information. So I'm pretty excited about this. I know there's a few people in our group that will really relate to him. We've got a few guys in the group, so I'm looking forward to that. And I just know that he'll deliver as well. So this is definitely a real recruiting opportunity. So if you're thinking about building your business and getting people that you really want to get moving, this is the one to invite them to. And it's totally free for guests and members. There will be some heavy beverage and some shakes and things as usual, because we like to feed you. Yeah, but I would just be getting everyone to it. And if you need some copies of flyers and things, let me know. I've got them all there that are blank, and you just put your details on them. You can tell we're excited about that one. Yes, Irene?
I'll be there.
Cool.
The only thing that can stop me is if I have to go down to Bateman's Bay.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes. Well, we did know that, yes.
Yep.
Because I haven't been given those details yet.
Okay. So then we understand it could be called a Success Summit. Nobody's actually clarified the name for it. So you got the 2-day event in November. So depending on what state you're in, you can see who they're on the screen of who is actually going to be there.
So you got Joanna Guinea from WA is going to South Australia. Mum of 3 boys. Brand new President's Team member Wayne Levy is going to be in Victoria, so in his hometown. New South Wales, Mark Paulson. So how cool is it? We've got someone coming to Gympie, and then he's going to be doing a 2-day leadership training in New South Wales. And I know that he's been out to New Zealand to do something similar, and he's just been at the Success Gala at Adelaide on the weekend.
Yep, just gone.
Yeah, and of course for Queensland, we've got President's Team member Jess Morgan, and she's coming to train us. And I used to, I've done the 2-day events back in the old days. I'm sure a few of you remember them, and I always liked them because the Saturday night was great because it gave you a chance to kind of relax and get to know people better and that. And I just really think this is a fantastic opportunity. And wait until you see what's coming with this.
Yep.
It's really, really exciting.
So is it a bit like a summit, but just for a weekend? Is it that sort of
Pretty
thing?
well. So we understand. So on the Saturday, on the 16th of November, the training is open to all members. So all members, doesn't matter their level, all members on that first day on the Saturday, and the party on the Saturday evening is open to all members. The Sunday, then those people, they get to go home because they're not supervisors yet. So if you're a supervisor, you get to stay on Sunday, and the training is then open to all supervisors on the Sunday. So
that's the way we used to do the STSs.
Yes, that's right. Yep. I remember that. I used to love it.
And Conrad were running them in Sydney then.
Yes, yep.
So where are we in Queensland? So sorry, Lindy. Stephen, we're not sure where user guys are going in New South Wales, but we do know where Queensland.
I think Lindy might be coming up to us.
Lindy might. I don't know. We'll see. You probably could get on a plane, you know. It's all right.
I might.
You might. Well, you could get Mark Paulson anyway because you get up for the Let's Go. It's only 2 weeks later, you know. It's perfect.
I'm going to talk to my upline and work a plan.
Okay, cool. No worries.
Queensland details. We can't wait to share them.
Yeah, we don't know the rest, unfortunately.
I have actually listened to Jess a few times, and she's really...
So the 2-day event is at the QT on the Gold Coast.
What's the QT?
All right, so that got announced on Saturday. And the Queensland Saturday evening event for all ticketed members will be spent cruising the Broadwater on the Sun Goddess at 2.8 million Supercat.
Wow.
That's where Super Yacht.
Yeah. Sorry,
Super Yacht. That's where the party will be.
Are you coming, Lindy?
Yep.
There you go.
I got to be honest, so as much as I've travelled for many years and done ships and sailing boats, I'm absolutely scared, beep, 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 of being on boats. But that's okay. I can work around it.
Yeah.
Just give me some alcohol. Big boat.
So that's where it is. Now, when we went to the World Team weekend, basically Mark and Jill Addy said, are you part of the Herbalife structure and what are you doing? Are you planning yourself around the event?
Can I just ask, sorry, are you excited about this, Coral? Excited about this? Just wait, I think you're muted. I think you've muted yourself.
Yes, I'm trying to take a photo.
I'll send it to you. Don't take a photo of that. I'll DM it to you.
Thank you.
That's okay.
I'm super excited, yes.
So QT, so you need to be on the ball with what you're doing. And this is the example of what we're trying to show you without plugging us. But this is where, if you want to move forward, this is where your attitude needs to be. We've already booked.
We haven't paid for it.
Haven't paid for it. We're already booked. So I use booking.com. Bingo, I can book anything I want previously to whenever I want to go. Obviously, it locks in. And obviously, I got to pay at the event when I get there. But I've already booked our accommodation. I've already locked us in accommodation at the QT, so we do not miss out on the event or where to go or whatever the case may be.
I'm going to sound like a bit of an idiot here, but it's a QT new hotel because I've never heard of it.
I'd never heard of it.
Neither had I.
We looked it up. We Googled it.
Because I thought it was a Q1 and then went, hang on a minute, I actually had to look it up on booking.com and went, oh no, they're on the Gold Coast, yes.
Oh, because I know the QE2, but I didn't know the Q2.
Yeah. All right, so if you really need to be jumping and getting involved with what goes on, I use booking.com a lot because I virtually can book it. If I pick the right parts of booking.com, you don't have to pay for it. And for whatever reason, life gets in the road, you can cancel normally about a week or so, or whatever you pick in the system previous to that. All right. That's the only reason I like that particular site. So that's where it is. Moving on. So next, Spectacular.
So how long we got? So September, October, November, December. So it's about 3.5 months.
About that.
Yeah. So I know it's coming up quick, and you got to remember, for new people, you really want to paint the picture of why they should go to this, because sometimes people don't understand. And I think you know, we've definitely got the ball rolling here in Gympie on some of the local guys wanting to go to this and all going in together. And thank you, Lindy, for helping with that as well. And you know, with Trishy, and just, you know, bonding in together so that we all go as a group. So because, you know, some people, you know, I've got partners and things like that to go with, but if you know someone hasn't, then, you know, team them up with someone else so that you can all go together and have a great time. And so I recommended the Adelaide Riviera, and I think they're booking up fast because you can have 4 or more people sleeping in there, and it's actually really good value.
I've already booked it, and I think there was something like I booked for like 3 to be in the room, and that was there was only 2 rooms left. So yeah, thanks for the advice. I booked it already. So
and you walk straight at the door over to the tram, and it's a 5-minute tram ride, which is really cool. So Trey and Mamie Heron. So we know that Bill and Clem Heron's their son, sorry. And they came to Australia many times and trained us. Beautiful people with that southern drawl and just big hearts and lots of love to give. And so I remember their trainings a lot. And obviously Bill's passed away not long ago. And Trey basically is a 2nd generation Herbalifer. And he is building an amazing business. They've achieved Chairman's Club, and they're actually like building extremely fast. So they've really got what they're doing down pat. So they can't wait to come to Australia. Obviously, they've got, you know, some connections here and history. So they're going to deliver. Like people are going to get an amazing experience. It's going to be really special. And you know, for a new person, think about painting the picture of they're going to get training, and there's recognition, and there's a party, and there's, you know, there's all these great things they can get involved in and make it a real experience. And so to show how it's worth their time to travel. To go to this. So you need to show them that, hey, if they need to, they can book their flights, they can get the afterpay and just pay it in things that they need to. I show them how many clients they've got to get so they can go on profit. They can book their accommodation and pay when they get there, and then help them get that ticket as well. So have you got the ticket?
We'll get to it. So obviously it's got a spectacular recognition. So they're recognising all fully qualified supervisors who achieve 2,500 total volume points.
Active supervisors.
Active supervisors. Yeah, who achieve 2,500 total volume points in 3 consecutive months during the qualification period. Yep. So they'll become an active supervisor. So that they've got to be qualified, not an active. Become qualified. So that you need to have your people become supervisors before the end of this month when you think about it. So to achieve their 2.5, if they're not already supervisors, they need to be a supervisor before the end of this month. So they get October, November, and December in the 3 consecutive months.
How cool is that? I'm going to get on stage and get this amazing medallion, getting that recognition. I know Michael and Cara they've completed their 2nd month, so they've got 1 more month to go. So that's really exciting. And thinking about them getting this on stage, it's spectacular. I think I'm more excited, about that than about us going. So, you know, having your people there and knowing that they're going to get that recognition and just have this amazing experience is definitely really special. So make sure that I'm pretty sure this is open to everyone. Is that right, Irene?
This is open to everybody, every supervisor, every person that's a supervisor that achieves 2,500 total volume points in 3 consecutive months will get recognised on stage and get a medallion.
That's
Everyone.
right.
Yeah, Carol and Lindy are going, I'm so doing that. Is that right? So I don't want to leave.
That's for sure.
you bet your sweet patootie.
Yep. He's looking there. He's like, look at him. He's checking it out as well.
So yes.
Come on, Steve.
So, you know, this is something everyone could go for. And of course, this is what we want. We want to teach people to consistently at least do their 2,500 volume so they can get their full royalty. And if they lead by example, so by doing that volume, you're leading by example on what it takes to have that consistency. You're using the product, you've got some clients, you've got some members doing stuff as well. And if that's all you focus on, you will build a successful business.
Right. And remember, we have to lead from the front.
Yeah.
We have to lead from the front.
Yeah.
So with that, there's also a worldwide 40th anniversary promotion. Qualified promotion period is September through to December. So there is prizes and that available. No information has come out as yet that we can see on where the prizes are and how you got to click in. But you need to have doing the bronze level 3000 in any 3 months, 3 of the 4 months. So it's not in a row.
September, October, November, December. So
So
long as it's 3 out of those 4.
You could do it in September and miss October and you still cover it. You could do September, October and miss November and still be fine. Any 3 of the 4 months. Whether you do a 3, 3.5, 5. So obviously, to get the gold level, you need to do 5,000 in any of those 3 months. You can't just do a 3 or 5, right, to achieve that. All right.
And if you qualify, if you do the 3,000 and 3.5 and the 5,000, you qualify for all of them.
Yep. So So if you qualify for gold, you actually get the bronze prize, you get the silver prize, and you get the gold prize.
Sorry, I'm just getting some background noise there.
I might just get, is everyone okay to mute themselves if they're not talking? You can unmute if you need to say something. So, okay, so so this is for everyone as well. User supervisors, people that are doing that at least 2.5, it's just that little bit of a stretch. And if it doesn't matter if you miss this month, it's okay. If you can do it this month, great. But if you don't, then you've got October, November and December.
Yep. So it's fully achievable, all that as well. All right. So, spectacular. Have you got your ticket? What have you done about your ticket? The tickets are purchased in the middle there. We've already bought our ticket. We bought the ticket at the World Team Weekend. So again, you need to lead from the front. Why would our people want to buy a ticket if we won't go and buy a ticket?
Because remember, because you can book your hotel and not pay and just pay when you get there. You can book it. You can pay your airfare off if you need to, but this is the first step. So it's singles 150, a couple is 270. So this is the first one you want to do. And then you want to take a photo that you've got your ticket and then share that as well. Share it on Challenge Yourself Daily. I'm sure we'll do who's got their ticket list.
Yep, you can do that.
And I know that Queensland is going for 500 people to Spectacular. So let's all band together and all help each other get there as well, and take people with us.
Yep. So same deal. We've already booked our accommodation in in Adelaide.
The one I wanted wasn't available, but this will. I haven't stayed here before, so
this will do. So again, you can book it now. Same deal. Booking.com. I don't have to pay for it now. I can create profit if need be between now and Adelaide to be able to cover that, and then go from there. So because the last thing you want to do is get your ticket, get your airfare, and then go, okay, where am I staying in Adelaide? Because I haven't done anything about booking it now. And if you don't have to use Booking.com. I just like them. You can use whatever sites you like. Plenty of them will allow you to look. Plenty of them also within the system, because I've classed as a genius level, I get 10 and 20% off. But on those sections, you have to pay for them on the spot. So sometimes you don't get the discount, but I don't have to pay for it for later in the track. So they're the one of the ins and outs you got to work out with what you want to do.
And there's other ones as well. There's
Absolutely. There's plenty.
Yep. We've used different ones before. And because we're doing the girls are going down to see mum and dad on the farm, we're going to, we've got to put puppies in the puppy motel, which they loved. They love that. They really like the puppy motel. Then obviously we've got to do that. Then fly to Melbourne, then to Mildura.
Back to Melbourne. Back to Adelaide.
Yeah, it's actually cheaper to fly back to Melbourne and then on to Adelaide than to go from Mildura to Adelaide. Go figure. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So a little bit of wangling, but the girls get to go and spend some time with mum and dad. Then we'll fly on to Adelaide and do that, and then work out the rest. So it's good that you can incorporate those things too
in your lifestyle.
If you have to.
Cool. And I think the last thing's Marky.
Is that? Oh, Marky.
So we love this quote, and it goes with the personal development. If we want to make it a better world, it starts with us. It isn't going to happen with an election. It isn't going to happen with our government. It's going to be through people like ourselves taking charge of our own lives. It's about us taking charge of where we want to go. That's the air conditioning unit. The whole process is what are we going to do about things.
And interesting enough, I was listening to Mark Hughes today when we're doing some stuff, and he said exactly that. He said that quote. Heard him say it. So make sure you're continuing listening to Jim Rohn and Mark Hughes. You know, put it on your phone or on your computer. Go into YouTube. There's so much available. And sometimes you'll just hear that one thing that you meant to hear and use, and you want to always be constantly reminded. You know, of his trainings are so relevant today, and it just reminds you of why you're doing what you're doing. So I think it's really important. So we're going to stop sharing so that we can have our mastermind group.
They'll need
Magic.
to take
Yeah,
their
you
mute.
can
I can
unmute
unmute yourself.
yourselves, and just thought we'd get some feedback on what you thought.
You're still recording? Okay.
Yes, we're still recording.
Yeah,
That was great.
So you wish to stop recording?
Yep. Oh, just any feedback before we stop recording?
That was a great session.
That was good. I liked it. It was
Yep,
good.
really enjoyed it.
Cool. So
Very informative and very clear, concise and precise.
cool. So we want everyone clear on the promotions because there's a lot of things going on, and sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. So one, you need to choose what appeals to you. You don't have to go for everything if it's not you, but do it in alignment with your goals. If you want to become a presence team member, well, you need to go for everything. And yes, you might not be in that stage of your business with momentum where that's going to happen to start with, but you still need to have it as a goal of just going for it so you create that growth. And then it all comes back to what am I doing every single day to make that happen. And you know, we have days like we're supposed to go out and do flyers today, but I had an upset tummy. So we weren't going anywhere too far from the house. So I found other things to do. I had a checklist already written out of things that had to be done anyway. So I did all of those. You got some stuff done as well. And then we went into the centre.
And remember, don't swing that pendulum too far in the opposite direction. Don't. Find what works for you and keep refining it. And that's important. And one of the things that Stephen said, and I've heard him say, because obviously he said at the World Team Weekend as well, he said, do one thing. That book is obviously what he's he scripted out of that book a lot, obviously, on Saturday. And really, it's about, one, you're chasing two rabbits. This is where his biggest analogy has come from. You won't catch either rabbit. You can't catch one. So do one thing, whatever that one thing is, and focus on it and keep improving it and moving forward on that one thing, whatever it is, and keep refining your business that suits you, because we're all totally different. The way Shelley does the business, the way I would want to do business, the way anyone on the call wants to do business, it's all different. You have to work what works for you. That's where your avatar comes from, but it comes from you. And then we all have good and bad points that we need to keep working on and perfecting whatever that is.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is behind us is the chart thing, because you were doing having a bit of a talk, but on paper. And at the World Team Leadership Weekend, Mark and Jill Addy talked about your process and your flow and your business model. And you really love the one that goes down on an angle, and it basically goes, you know, invitation, then presentation, and blah, 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 blah. It goes down on an angle. That really suited you. Whereas mine's more like the funnel, where it's got all the things along the top, weight loss challenge, shake parties. You know, I like doing everything, and then it all funnels down into blah, blah, blah. And I said, interesting enough, we can actually combine them together. Yours can come down on the angle. Mine could be the funnel. And then, you know, we can actually make it work, even though we have two different ways of doing the business. I like to do everything because I've got that Mark Hughes thing of try everything and be good at everything, so that when you get somebody and you can show this is how you do it, and that might be their thing. Whereas you like to single focus on something, which is perfectly fine too. This is what I know that works, like Kelly and Brett Yateman, who've just gone 20K.
President.
They have a set system of what they do, and this is what they do, and they stick to it, and this is what they do. So however it works for you is fine, because it all works. So you've got to figure out your process and what works for you. Okay.
That's really important to understand that, because if you keep chopping and changing, your people see you chop and change, and they then, where does your leadership come from? You don't have any leadership when you're jumping. They just stop following you in the end, because I know I've done that in multiple times in my career. And the people above me are saying one thing, and the next month or 6 months' time they're saying something totally opposite. You just go, you haven't got a clue, and you stop listening to people.
So I think the key is when you're going to different events, whether it's a kickoff type event or an STS or a leadership training, you're going to get lots of speakers talk about different things. And then you might go, oh, let's do that. And then the next time you go, oh, let's do that. So you want to go, no, this is what we're doing. We can blend a few things in from there. We can blend out a few things, but it's not, like you said, the big pendulum swing. You do not want that. It just, it mucks around with your momentum and your confidence and your results. So just know that this is how I'm doing things. And then if you're not really sure, even like, what am I doing, or I don't know what to choose or anything, have a chat with a few people and get that clear first so that you can start there and then move forward. So do you think that's good advice, Irene?
Well, it's the only advice, you know. I think for both of you, you're learning, like I had to learn on, that each of us have our strengths and we could combine them to get even stronger. And I think that that's so important. And I think as well that I think that, as Ross said, if you don't know where you're going yourself and how you're going, how can you help others to follow you? You know, they won't know where to. They're lost, confused, and I think that's a important thing.
Yeah, and you know, we clash sometimes, don't we?
No, not at all.
We have to know.
Yeah, it's good.
So, you know.
You don't listen.
Anyway, so, you know, it's like you've got to look at where that person's strengths are, and you'll have to do this with your team members, not just, you know.
Yeah, not just partners.
Yeah,
you have to do it with team
and
members
if
too.
you don't have a partner you're doing with, it doesn't matter, but you need to look at what your team's strengths are and how you can work in together and mastermind together. So that was basically the call tonight. Thank you very much for being on the call.
Thank you.
We will convert it. And so remember, basic training is every second Thursday. So not this Thursday, but next Thursday at 8 o'clock, we do a basic training. And that basically will go through a certain process of how to do the business. So for a new person to plug into and get those back to basics. But it's also good for, I know Lindy and Jillian were on.
Yep.
Yeah.
And thank you for being on that. And it's good sometimes to have some different new people on it, because we can kind of get that interaction and engage of how to refine it. So we want to include, you know, that as we go along, and so that you can plug your new people in and you know they can get off to a good start, or you can share the recording with them as well.
And that's the whole point, is to eventually share the recording, and eventually we'll probably refine it and we'll repeat it at some point and refine the parts we've talked about, because it'll just get easier.
Because now I know that if I share something with you, that it might look backwards to me, but it doesn't look backwards to you. Now I know that won't, you know, I can flow better.
You won't freak out?
I'm just like, they can't read it. Anyway, it's all good. That's why sometimes you got to replay things and listen back and look at yourself and see how you sound. Like recording yourself on calls was something Merv always taught me to do. Record yourself or tape yourself and see, do I use my hands too much, or am I saying or whatever it is too much? And you pick up lots of different things about yourself by watching yourself back again or listening to yourself when you're doing calls and things like that too. So great way to learn. Very kind of, you know, hard to do when you're not used to looking at it.
Very confronting.
It gets easier.
I know. I used to tape myself and then go into the loo and listen to it there, so Conrad couldn't hear it. I used to think, oh, I sound awful.
It's Irene's loo training. We're going to get onto those later on in the Oh, yes, sorry. End of month. Where are we? The 23rd. One week until the end of the month, so make sure you go for that. And the statewide Queensland Challenge begins on the Monday, so you really need to have people registered by no later than Sunday. So just keep those time-sensitive things in mind and keep an eye on your volume and go and have a look at your BizWorks, because this is the time to be doing it. It's now to help people finish off what they're doing.
Okay, sorry, have to go. Got to get the kids to bed.
Okay, have a good night.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.